received so many. Are you looking through yours right now?
Welcome to Friends Living Well.
Welcome to another episode.
Welcome to Friends Living Well with two therapists who are best friends.
Get it.
I'm Kelsey. I'm a BCBA, and I'm proud to be a BCBA, bitch.
Damn, she coming out aggressive in this episode. And I'm Nikita Mahone, also known as Fajita Trombone.
She's
matching that aggression that my bestie is at today.
Yeah, she's an LPC, and she's got like so many acronyms, and because she's really smart and like really good at her job. So if you need therapy, we do that.
Love her. She just always helping me.
Yeah, we be doing it at fulllivingwellness.com. So if you need therapy, you could get a free consultation for 15 minutes.
I love our consultations too.
They're really fun. It's like dating, right? You don't want to pick a therapist without fucking being like, hey, who'd you vote for? And
exactly.
Also, do you know where the clitoris is?
Do you know?
The Muffin Man.
You need a map to find it.
The Muffin Man?
The muffins. And the man.
The Muffin Man? Not my gumdrop buttons.
Yeah, so we got some services.
That's
for
a
you.
Shrek reference for you, Nikita, in case you didn't know what that was.
Actually,
from.
I did.
Did
know
you
that
get
one.
that one?
That's the only one that we've ever that I did.
That you were like, yup,
I
actually
exactly
watched it.
What was happening?
Not like I read a Reddit post and I saw a 7-second clip.
I saw a real one.
Yeah, so this is the vibe that we have as therapists. So if you like it,
if you like
and
a
you
little
live in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, or California,
taking over all the states, baby girl.
yeah, we brought on as in her, brought on a new therapist, Danny, who's like just awesome. Yeah, we really like her. She fits in really well into our vision.
Lucked out so much because I've hired before working for other agencies, and let me tell you, it's a fucking nightmare. It is not a good time. And it's really hard because you can't, it's just like, as you were saying, people looking for a therapist, like how do you make sure it's the right person in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're hiring. You have this one, maybe 2 meetings with somebody, and then you're supposed to know. But we lucked out so much with Danny.
Yeah. She's very like grounded and well-rounded as like just a person, and she's very thoughtful. Like those were all of my impressions of her. So that's really awesome. Full Living Wellness is growing, which is really, really cool.
And Danny's offering individual as well as family services. So yeah, like I said, if you're in need, what Full Living Wellness does is anybody that comes in, we offer a 15-minute consultation that lets you meet with Ashley or I. And that way we can make sure that it's a good fit, that you're paired with the right therapist that meets all your needs, including like scheduling stuff. And if we end up not being a good fit for you too, then that allows us to use our referral source, which is pretty amazing.
And we have a really strong referral network. If you're a therapist and you're listening to this and you even want to like just meet with us to grow your network, we won't refer to people that we have not had a conversation with. So we're very thoughtful about the community that we're a part of, and we want, if you can't find it with us, we want you to find it with the right person.
Exactly. That's a good reminder. Not only clients in that way, but other therapists. If you're listening to this and you want to connect, just reach out to us, and we would love to set that up.
Yeah, we're doing an event in February 11th at Nimblecraft in Media, supporting Delco Helping Hands. So that's really cool. And yeah, we're gonna, if you sign up for our newsletter, we talk about all the stuff that we're gonna do. So
I know Ashley works so damn hard on
yeah,
that
she's
newsletter.
really good at that.
And she always highlights somebody new in the community too that's offering services or is wellness oriented themselves. So
yeah.
And another thing I want to shout out a little bit now that we're on this, Facebook's group Philiqueens.
Oh my God.
Like anybody in the area knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Good.
But I just want to do a shout out to that page because I see that page impact so many people in such a positive way
Yes.
and provide such a sense of community. And then I also I realized my last 3 clients that I like
Have come from Philippines.
have come from Philippines,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, because who's posting in there?
that, and also I found out like my client, I don't know if you're seeing this because you know me, I'm not on
Yeah.
in that way, but apparently my clients will write back. I had a client tell me that they replied to a comment for me. They were like, I sent you somebody, just so you know, through Facebook. And I've had you and Ashley comment before of like,
Yeah.
that people will leave messages of like, oh yeah, Nikita would be good to help you in this way.
Oh yeah, anytime anybody says something like I'm looking for a good couples therapist, I always mention you. And then if like I hear anybody like is needing support in like the areas of like OCD and anxiety, I'm like, "Oh, Ash would be a good fit for you."
Yes.
So, yeah, fucking love Philippines.
Love that page. So
Shout
much.
out to Benji. Benji was found. This was okay, so during the snowstorm,
Yes.
this family had just adopted this dog.
You know
Did
me
you
and
see?
yes.
So literally and this all started, they've been on like national news
Get
now because of the work in Philippines. So like literally like people were out there mid snowstorm looking for this dog. They hired somebody.
And that's how Philippines are. Like if
It's
you have a
legit.
need out there, it is
It's
through
legit.
and through support. The girls be girling in there.
Yes. And it's funny because I've had some friends be like, "Oh my God, it's really toxic." And I'm like, nothing toxic comes up on
never
my For
seen
You page. So stop interacting with all the toxic posts if there are any, because that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, I've never seen
What I
anything
see
but-
in Philippines is really awesome stuff. So, yeah, shout out the Facebook group Philippines.
Yeah, I just want to, in case somebody's like not aware of that, or
Yeah.
if you're just part of it, just keep doing what you're doing.
Or if you
because-
like run a small business or you're somebody that's like doing private work in any type of area, you should be posting in that group. People get a lot of
Yes.
business there. I've seen a lot of like female handymen or like electricians, you know, like they want women to feel comfortable about people coming into their houses, like get this work done. Because
Yep.
that's something that worries me.
I've literally looked that up for clients for that exact
yeah.
reason. That like
Yeah.
I've had clients that have avoided needing a
Yeah.
dentist or a plumber because of that exact reason, and I'm like, honey child, there are resources
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's a really good resource for a lot of people. And I don't know if people know this, but when you belong to Facebook groups and you go into the group, in the top right corner, there's a little fucking search magnifying glass. You can search people's posts that have already been
Uh-huh.
made. So stop posting shit when you could just be looking.
Oh yeah, look first.
Look first.
Look
Look.
first.
Look first.
Okay.
That was stupid. Yeah, we're both wearing sunglasses because we're fucking awesome. That's why.
Honestly, yeah, we just want to
We're
our
being
faces be
yeah.
relaxed.
Yeah,
Like
this
we
is
did
what true
Botox.
inclusion looks like.
Like we have Botox money, but we ain't got Botox.
No, but we will have Botox money because of this podcast and Full Living Wellness.
Yeah, we're taking over the world. #1 podcast in the world, right here.
Has like 37 average views on YouTube.
I get so excited when we hit like 12 views. I'm like, fuck yeah!
I forget to look at our YouTube, and like every now and again I'll like go back and like Dennis is commenting on it, and like, you know.
I live on YouTube, so sometimes our episodes will just start playing. And I'm like,
yeah.
Kelsey,
Sometimes when I use like the Calming White Noise podcast, every time I go to sleep, it's sometimes if I don't cue it up, it'll just queue up. And so that sometimes I will wake up to our voices, and I'm like, this is fucking weird, dude.
You're like, what did I?
This is
did I
weird,
take my deodorant
dude.
before sleep or what?
That aluminum be getting in my fucking prefrontal
You
cortex.
keep making me think you're like, Nikita, I don't sweat. I don't sweat.
I
got
don't
that
want to.
strong."
I don't want to sweat. I would like to sweat less. I would like to have a normal nervous system, but. But, you know, it turns out that if you're repeatedly traumatized and assaulted at work for the first 5 years of your career, you're going to have chronic illness because
You
of it.
have some damage done. You poor thing. You're like a beanie baby that's been beat up.
Yeah.
Your tag is all fucking screwed
I was
up
just
and
saying to
stuff.
Tom, I was like, it's like I got all the Sonic rings knocked out of me, but like I can't get them back. So like I was powerful before, but now I just don't have as many rings.
Oh, you big powerful.
Yeah.
You're just different kind of powerful now.
I guess so.
You're just, what is that game you've been
Animal
playing?
Crossing?
Damn, I was gonna say animal bridging.
I kind of wish you had just gone with it.
You've been animal bridging.
I've been bridging my animals hard as fuck,
Yeah, see,
boy.
You're a different kind of strong now.
Yeah, I be playing so much Animal Crossing. It's crazy. And yeah, all of my recent like comfort things that I've been doing, because we all need comfort right now, is I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, and there's a lot of really good TV right now. I'm watching The Pit. There's a new season of The Pit on HBO. That's that medical drama that I told you about a long time ago.
Is it like ER style? You did tell me about this.
Noah Wiley, who was in ER, is one of the main characters, and honestly, he be looking fine.
Looking real good.
Like he's like a middle-aged man. He be like putting on his slutty little glasses. I love it. He be looking good this season. And it's what's cool about it is each episode is 1 hour of like a 12-hour shift in the ER. It's
jamming a lot in there.
It's really good. It's really, really well done. And they actually are like one of the few shows that has actually like had people that work in an ER come in and like show them how to do the procedures, and like, so it's much more accurate to like what a medical work like situation is. So yeah, it's really cool. And then I'm
just realizing in this moment as you're speaking.
What?
Sometimes I don't like. People ask me like, "What is it like being a therapist?" Like, it must be having like a really big impact on you. Like, you be listening to people's stories all day. Like, what's that like? And then I'm like, it's okay. It's not that bad. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like impacted, but not crazy impacted.
Yeah.
And then you say stuff like you just did, and I realize like I don't watch TV like that because I have clients that are ER doctors and nurses, and then they tell me stuff like that, and then the idea of watching something, I'm like, absolutely not.
I think it's different to like a Grey's Anatomy. Like, it's not one of those like
Grey's Anatomy is.
It's not like trauma for trauma's sake.
I'm waiting for somebody to do a research study on Grey's Anatomy and the actual trauma that show has
I know.
inflicted
Shonda
on a generation.
Rhimes, you're on my fucking list.
Listen.
No, like
You went through it. There are times where I'm sending out Mayday messages to the community of like, Kels is watching Grey's Anatomy.
I know that
Things
really is a sign of the times. Yeah, no, but I don't think it's trauma for trauma's sake. Like, I feel like it's visibility of like what the experience is for these people in like in a good way.
Telling the stories.
It's actually telling a more accurate story of what it's like to like be working in the ER. And then I'm watching The Task, which is another HBO, and it's like about this retired FBI agent who's like on a new thing, and it's set in Delco. Like, they did
cool.
Mayor of Easttown, and like now everybody in Hollywood's like Delco. And it's so funny because the actors in this, they like are not like, some of them are not that good, and they're doing not that good Delco accents, and they're like doing it too hard, and I'm like, no, like it's you're really, really good, trying hard.
When I was getting my ovarian cyst procedure done, the girls that were in there, there was 2 girls from Delco, and then there's me. Obviously, you can hear it in my voice that I'm from Delco.
So they all had hoagie accents.
All of us had hoagie accents, and they automatically were talking like about being from Delco because they had heard so it was like on automatic.
Yeah.
And then they were saying they were talking about exactly the show that you're talking about.
Yes.
And they were saying how annoyed they are now because they were talking about how some girls have the Delco necklaces now.
Ew, what?
It's like,
what?
It's like, you know how it'll be like a gold necklace with your cursive
Shut the
writing,
fuck up,
and
it's
you get
Delco?
your name, but it just says Delco.
But are they from Delco and wearing it?
She said no, which is why.
Oh, yeah, that's fraudulent.
Because that's how the whole conversation started.
I'm
she
not
said,
from Delco, and I would not wear that. I pay taxes in Delco, but...
You'd be paying them Delco taxes.
He's paying the fucking...
She was like, how does it feel to be cool now?
It's so weird. That's what, like, really, like, I want to be, like, I am happy that, like, fantasy books are so popularized, but as somebody that was, like, repeatedly tormented by people for, like, being the weird girl reading fantasy books in, like, middle school and high school, I'm like, suck my dick.
Yeah, talk to me now.
This is cool now? Fuck you.
It is the cool thing now.
So stupid. It makes me mad.
To not be on your phone and to, like, read a book or something.
Yeah,
instead.
I'm like, oh, you're so fucking cultured. Congrats. I've been doing this for years.
Man, the things that have come into style now that we never anticipated. Delco is now a cool thing.
It's weird. It's weird how like Hollywood was like, well, Mayor of Easttown was really good, and like people think Wawa is like crazy good. So like now we have to do shows surrounding this.
Is it just like a constant nuance thing? Is that what it is? Like somebody was just looking for what's something that hasn't been explored yet?
Yeah, and I think that like people really liked it. And then there's been a couple of like other shows, like Tires, like who's the fucking comedian? Yeah, Shane Gillis did it. It's a great show. It's on
I feel
Netflix.
like Tom told me about that show.
It's hilarious. It's like 25-minute episodes. It's fucking hilarious. And it's really well done because it's not like they're not tryhards. That's the problem with some of the people in this show I'm talking about is they're tryhards and they don't sound like they're really from Delco. They sound like people that listen to Delco people talk and now are just like...
I want to know what we sound like to other people. What are they?
Hoagie accent. Hoagie. Hoagie. That's what I hear when you talk. Okay, but then the other show that I've watched that I want you to get HBO for a month just to watch this show.
Because it's boys kissing boys.
Because it's they're kissing, but they're boys.
We like to see boys kissing.
It's so fucking good. It has women in a chokehold right now. Heated Rivalry has everybody in a chokehold. People are watching it in bars.
And what's funny is whenever something like this gets big, I then it comes up into my sessions. It's so funny. Where people will be like, is this an accurate definition of love or an expectation to have in relationships?
Yeah, well, and so I've like watched a lot on this because it's only 6 episodes. And I've seen a lot.
Like I had a notebook.
And I had a notebook, and me and my friend Megan and I have been talking a lot about it, and I've been seeing a lot of interviews with the actors who play Shane and Ilya, and they talked about like, why do you think this is so popular with women right now? And they talk about how basically they feel like it's because it's men that are being soft and vulnerable and communicative and like emotionally connected, and it's there's so much like yearning and anticipation between them, and it's like this buildup that I think women really really like, and it's really lovely to see that happen with like queer people. And I it's just so good on so many levels.
Oh, I definitely want to watch. I'm always curious about that idea of desire, especially when a relationship is just starting or somebody's new versus, you've been with somebody a couple of years or you've been with somebody for 10 years, like desire and how it looks so different at these different stages.
And this is over like their relationship happens over many years. And the other thing that I really love about the show is if you do the deep dive, you know that they shot it all in like 30 days with like 2 cameras. And like just the cinematography and like who directed it, they do such a good job of like, they use music as a thematic element that's like really beautiful, and there's like so many moments where like there might not be conversation happening, but exactly what it's communicating. Like there's this one moment when they're sitting on a couch. It's in one of the later episodes. It's in like 5 or 6, and they're sitting on the couch and they're facing each other, but they're on a nice long couch, and it's only their toes are touching, and it's like there's such distance between them, and it felt very representative of geographically they are so far apart from each other, but like they're still connected because their like toes are still touching. And I was like, God, this is a fucking masterpiece. Like I just
like a poem.
I loved it. It was so good. And those are like things that I really need right now. Like I want to get off my phone. I want to like be in the moment, and I want to pay attention, and I want to like chill out.
I hate my phone. I know when you got here today, I was saying like I'm trying to, something in my personal life I've been trying to be better at is like plugging in, staying connected to people, making time. But I really struggle with being on my phone. I don't enjoy sitting on my phone. I am absolutely somebody that will forget my phone someplace.
Yeah, you really are. You really are. I'm like 2 on my phone. Like I want to be on it less. And it's funny because when I was scrolling, I saw this ad for like this thing called a brick where it's like it like locks your phone for you, and I'm like, if fucking capitalism and commodification of everything makes me think I need to buy a thing to put my phone down, that's fucking crazy.
Like, got it.
Like, I just need to be disciplined, right? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't need a thing to do a thing. You have everything you need.
It's so true. And you know what's so hard about, I had a professor that used this as an exact example to talk about addiction, and it always stuck with me because he was like, you'll know something is a vice if you go to pick it up without mindfulness.
Yes.
And he used your phone. He was like, your cell phone is such a perfect, he said, how many times do you go and pick up your cell phone and it wasn't a conscious thought or decision of intentionality where you said, I want to go use my phone, that's why I'm picking it up?
Yeah.
And then he gave us the prompt for every time we noticed ourselves picking up our phones without having made a choice to do so, of asking ourselves, what was I just thinking or feeling prior to doing so? And then the high correlation between thinking something stressful or emotionally dysregulating in a way.
You had told me this before, and it has stuck with me so much that I've started paying attention to times. So during periods of like really high anxiety for me, and especially when I'm in my luteal phase, I scroll like a motherfucker, and I realize that it's because I'm escaping these negative trains of thought. And I was talking with my therapist about how when I'm going back to back, and I'm like going back to back sessions, and I'm not sitting, and what's hard, this is the thing that people don't tell you about being a therapist, is how hard it is to be a witness to other people's emotions, but then not having an outlet in which to discuss them. So like, even on a friendship level, like Nikita and I talk about clinical things, but like, you know, we're not talking about clinical things in the concept of like we're coworkers all the time. Like, there are things that I do in my full-time job that, like, you know, I can't tell people because it's not HIPAA compliant, right? Like, I can't just...
And nobody can just be a fly on the wall in that way.
No. And unless you are like in direct interaction with this person, like I don't have a way to process this. And I've noticed this pattern in myself that when I'm falling asleep at night, and this is when most of my trauma flashbacks happen, is at night, because what happens is I will be thinking about work, and I will be processing what's happened to me this week or this day.
Plus, you're in a state of safety. You're right before going to sleep.
And then I'm going back into like the moments that have been really scary for me. And I think that I also have maybe normalized some of my experiences in a way, because like I have like trauma nightmares about work, like literally all the time. And I mean, even on a day-to-day basis, like there will be certain things that happen, or like physical sensations that happen for me that I'm just like, boop, back there. Yeah. And so my therapist and I have been talking about like, what's a way for me to like try and pre-process like before I'm sleeping. Like,
can I ask you about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because you said something earlier too that was making me think of this, and especially with my more severe complex trauma, and especially when I even think of those that have like a physical injury that is part of that trauma, a car accident, an assault, like something that is, it feels like there is an experience there where I'm wanting to say it's like the limbic system turns off. So like that body brain connection, like it gets triggered, and that person shuts off before there is no ability to use the tools of like, let me be self-aware and then mindful in using a tool because something gets so activated and comes up before I'm
even aware of it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then as you were saying that, like I've seen them, something I've been working with, there's 2 clients in particular that really stand out to me right now with that, where they've put so much guilt on themselves about like, I just need to figure out how to use my self-awareness and the tools more and take better care of myself, so that way this doesn't happen as much.
Oh.
And it's like, but you also have like a whole automatic...
Yeah, what's your body in that? Where's your body in this?
Yes.
And I think that that's also a thing that like resonates with me in a way, because I think that if we have had those experiences, I think it's a more comfortable thought process of saying, what was my part, because I can change, not this thing happened to me that I had no control of. And so I think I've like, yeah, like that's I see that as a loop that's really easy to get stuck in, because I think that's a more comfortable place to live, of like, I had this thing happen to me, and so if I just blame myself, then I can change something about me
Yes.
and I can deal with this
Yes.
instead of like the actual reality, which is what happened to me didn't make sense, and it period.
And
It happened, period.
as you're saying that, something I'm thinking of too, where the conversation feels like it leads, is a really unfair acceptance and acknowledgement of what impact it has had. Like, to say,
Yeah.
like, I don't get to operate the way I used to, and
Yeah.
my body does not work, and I do get
Yeah.
flashbacks when I don't want them, and
Yeah.
it's not a matter of I just need to take my deep breaths and use my tool. It's not
No.
part of that. And
No.
as you were saying that, I see so many people put a lot of pressure on themselves in that way of like, I need to do more to create less of this, and it's like
It's not like, I think again it's like this, like capitalism, living in this capitalist society, the motivation is due, the motivation and the reason for living is due, and productivity and action. And I think that like I think that as therapists, like, we live in opposition to that system, or we should, because like sometimes there's not a due. And that's, I think, the piece of this, like, my grief and what's been happening with my chronic illness is there isn't a due here.
yeah.
And I'm so fucking angry that there is not a due here, because if I could just do something, and if I do it, then I know that I'm changing it and there's a solution and I have something to hold on to. And it's like, no, it's like, I can't do anything about this. So part of this is just like being and being angry and crying and feeling bad, and you know, all of those things that come with it. And it is unconscious, because there are so many moments where, like, because I also have like some scars and things that are like on my hands that like I don't think other people would notice because they're pretty light, but it's like I know they're there.
Yeah.
So there'll be times when I'm just like living my everyday life, and then I look down and I'm like, oh, remember that time, and boop, 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 and all of a sudden I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, fuck, snap out of it. There will be times at night where I'm falling asleep and I notice myself in that thought process, and I literally will like force my eyes open and just stop to just like look at the ceiling and just ground myself.
Why do you think that these things are coming up the way that they are now?
'Cause I never processed it. I never talked like I think that working in the work that I was doing when you were in that position, like, there's the things now that I know about it that were signals of wrongness. The level of escalation, the amount of behavioral escalation we were seeing, like, now that I'm outside of that, I know how, like, that shouldn't happen for anybody. It shouldn't have happened for me. It shouldn't have happened for those kids.
But that also lets you see it fully for the first time too.
Yes. And so, you know, there's so much unlearning that happens just on that like clinical. So like I have to put that in a bucket, right? That's one bucket. But I think the other part of it is like there's this mentality in ABA that I don't quite understand. It's like this this pride, ego that happens when you're working with high acuity behaviors. It's like almost like haha, battle scars, like we're going to war. And it's like, you know, and there's this mentality that comes with that. There's this camaraderie, that comes with that, as like being the clinicians that are like doing this work that like nobody else can do. And it's like,
all right, John Wick, calm down.
Right. It's like, again, it's like, first of all, it's not supposed to fucking be like that. And if it's like that, there's something deeply wrong with what's going on there.
And it shows like a real big focus of like being about them.
Yeah, not about us. Right? And it's about us.
Yeah.
We're making it about us, right? And our pride. And, you know, I also think that there's also, you know, I'm talking about one setting in specifically, but I also worked in another setting that had some higher acuity behaviors, but that was happening for a very different reason, because, you know, I was working with kids that like were so deeply traumatized themselves.
So go back to why it's coming up now.
I think I haven't processed it. Like, I think I haven't sat with the hurt. I don't think I've processed the
I almost hear, like, it kind of reminds me of, I'm sure you've seen this, especially working with parents, but you ever work with a parent who they hit like a moment where they break down themselves because, and I'm talking about like even my parents I've worked with who I know have done like a ton of trauma work themselves.
yeah.
I've seen them when they become parents, they hit this moment where a new level of healing happens but it's so tremendously grief ridden where they're like, oh, I know for certain now it wasn't my fault.
I think I know. I thought that it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was supposed to be, and I know now that it's not supposed to be like that, and that I think is my starting point.
Even see, I can like hear it in your voice when you say that, like that you know it now.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, this is going to sound so stupid. I've said it on the podcast before, but like, I didn't realize that like workplace violence is not what people experience typically.
But that's not what that job is supposed to have.
Yeah. And so when I answered that intake question for therapy, I was like, oh, everybody doesn't go to work and expect to get assaulted? Or like watch somebody like try and harm themselves?
And like, when did that become the thing that was, instead of it being about reducing that and changing that, it became, I almost hear like that's the work we do, let's go boys.
Yeah, it's like this is just what it is. Yeah. And I think that like now I know better, but I think that what makes me angry is like I trusted that other people were like, you look to your supervisors and your mentors and
you can't know what you don't know.
Right. And so like, you think that's what it's supposed to be. And I think that that's like the stage you hit as any clinician, but I think especially for BCBAs at like 10 years, you start really fundamentally understanding shit. And you're like, oh, fuck, I got to unlearn everything that I learned. Like, it's so funny. I talk to my friend Lauren Haley, who's a BCBA, all the time, and we're
all
like,
the time she's a BCBA.
all the time we're BCBAs, and she and I talk about how we're like, we would never do the shit that we were fucking taught 10 years ago. It's part of working in an applied setting, I think. But anyway, to go back to your question, yeah, I think it's
and if I can like, I could see that I talk about this all the time too, because I'm always shocked by this experience. It's one thing to know something when we feel that thing, the lesson sets in so differently. And I hear you saying that, and that's what I was bringing up that example is like, I've had so many people where they're like, I always knew the trauma wasn't right, it was my fault, like it wasn't supposed to be like this. But then when I felt how not okay that was, and that it actually wasn't so hard to do it lovingly or to be kind, and then being able to feel that, let them look back and grieve their experience and the pain of it in a whole new light.
Yeah, and I think that like that's what this past year has been for me, and it's one of those unfortunate things in which you don't start paying attention until your body forces you to pay attention. And it wasn't until I was like, oh, why do I have headaches every day? Why is my neck in constant pain? Like, why can't I function? Why am I having panic attacks every weekend? Like why? And I said this to Nikita, the other day, where I was like, I feel like my unprocessed experiences is like wreaking revenge. I feel like it's like my body being like, why didn't you pay attention to me and take care of me? And now look,
now you don't get a choice.
Now you have to pay attention to me. And I think it's all coming up. It's all just coming up in me. Because I also think the other thing, and I'm just having this connection now, but I also think is that I have lacked safety recently in spaces that I've always felt safe. I just realized that, like at jiu-jitsu and at the gym, those were spaces I always felt very powerful and confident and safe. And I have not felt that way there in those spaces anymore. And I'm like, and then I start thinking about like, well, why did I pick a combat sport? Like, like after everything that I've been through,
was that the
Like, what is it? Like, why am I drawn to that, like, raw
literally fighting people?
yeah, why am I, you know what I mean? Like, it's and I think because it is a pride thing, I think it's like an ego thing of like I can show people that I'm tough and I'm resilient and I do things that other people don't do and can't do. You know, maybe it's me trying to prove it to myself.
Maybe that's what you needed during that time, was to feel.
Yeah. I mean, I think the power and the confidence, and I mean, my life changed for the better going to jujitsu. You know, we wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't,
right?
if
Isn't
I
that
wasn't
crazy?
drawn to that. But yeah, it's interesting. I think at the beginning of my therapy journey, I was saying to myself, like, what? I'd be noticing a weird pattern.
Of choosing those.
Yeah.
types
Why
of
am I
outlets.
choosing like this pain? Why am I choosing so much pain?
Feels like it's I mean, it probably doesn't feel like this, but it sounds like it's this really intentional thing then that your body is doing. And I know you feel really stuck in this
Yeah.
stage of life, but
Yeah.
that makes me really excited and hopeful for you about you are taking the time now to, I mean, you're being forced to in so many ways, but I've also seen you really try to have a different mentality with it, where you were like, okay, this, as we were talking about, like, you try to accept it of like, okay, this is where my life is right now and where my body is at, and
Yeah.
how can I befriend that and try to help it and use this time.
It's a stillness. It's a stillness that I've never been good at. It's a constant running from my thoughts. It's a constant, you know, and in all of this, I'm like, well, when you don't have any outlet and your brain doesn't work,
Just
and
farm bridge.
and the only you be fucking farm bridging.
Bridge in every
You
farm.
bridge every animal in every farm, and that's all you can do.
That's all you want to do.
My body literally was like, listen, bitch, and sat me down. But
Said, "Build a
unfortunately,
bridge."
it's be sitting me down for like a year, like 365 days.
It was like, how long did you use me and abuse me?
Yeah,
That's how long we've been.
yeah. But I think I'm like, it's and I actually also think of a moment in my career in working with a specific family that highlighted the wrongness for me, and I'm so proud of this moment. And this the mom and I just talked about this like maybe a month ago about how she expressed her gratitude, and it was one of those things where I said to her, I was like, thank you for saying that. Okay, so to come full circle about all my trauma. I had this moment that sticks out in my brain about like what highlighted for me the wrongness of what my experiences were early in my career. I was consulting with a family with a child that was having a very, very hard time at school. And at school, they had a BCBA. They had behavior analytic supports, and he was getting restrained a lot. He was becoming self-injurious, and they were pretty quickly going into the restraints. And I sat with mom, and mom and I agreed. And I had actually seen it myself because he became escalated in the office one day. I happened to be there. This is actually how I met the family. And I observed a nurse being overly hands-on, and I saw the increase in aggression that occurred, as it does when you go hands-on.
Hell yeah. Anybody put their hands on me, that's like, we're going.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's like Nuck if you Buck starts playing and like you just start biting people, right? So so I obviously told him, I was like, yo, step away, stop talking, step away, give him some space. Anyway, I'm in the IEP meeting, and it's interesting, I think, being a BCBA to BCBA, and I was advocating with them. I said the more you go hands on, the more hurt he's going to be, the more hurt you're going to be. Stop going hands on. And so we asked them to stop restraining him and take data to see how it goes. And damn, if that didn't change his entire school experience, his rates of self-injurious and behaviors and aggression went way down. and we worked on defining his precursor behaviors, things that indicate challenge. We asked the speech therapist to create a folder on his AAC of all of his calming strategies, and that was my directive to them. My encouragement to them was stop going hands-on.
You just like refocus them too, instead of escalating with their responses every time. You were like, do something that's de-escalating instead.
Yes, and I think when you see the hurt that the child is causing to themselves, the instinct is step in. And it's such a powerful natural instinct, right? That's that protectiveness that keeps us alive.
To like physically control.
And it feels like helping because it feels urgent. I have to step in this way because they're hurting themselves in this way. And I understand that because I've been there and I've done it.
The instinct, right?
But I've been there and I've done it, and it never made it better. And that is a moment in my career where I like shifted my thought process a lot of like, hands-on doesn't help. That's not how we should do it. And just on a human level, there's a reason for not doing it. For other people, when you collaborate with other disciplines or even people that are in your own field, everybody's values are different. And I knew that their values were, I think I'm helping this kid.
Right, that was what they thought they were doing.
But I also know that their values were, how do we show this in the data? How do I know this is actually going to work? Like, I need proof. And so I was like, take data on. I bet you're going to see a decrease. And we did. And so I think that that's like the power in unlearning your own experiences, and that really, I think, changed me. And I think of that moment often.
Feels like it took like a really big perspective of like, don't respond on your own perspective or what feels instinctual to you.
Yeah.
And I can hear, because this is so fun when I think of your work and what you do, where you think of meeting that person where their needs are at. Like, instead of shaming or trying to like get rid of it, you always promote, how do we understand this and help them with and meet them where they're at with this thing.
And he was communicating. Like, not every behavior is communication. There are a lot of communicative behaviors. And I think that, man, this kid, he's funny. He's so smart. He's so smart. And yeah, so, there's a lot of moments in my career in which I've learned a lot of different things. But, like, I swear, if I could put one thing, like, if I could get a trophy for one thing, that would be it. That feels like the crowning achievement in my career, where I'm like, if I do nothing else, I did that. And that's fucking awesome.
Well, and you continue to do that. That's what you now implement in everybody else's.
Yeah, I try.
Oh, yeah.
I try. And like, this kid is just like, he just deserves better.
I've seen you save so many families from just that same mentality of like, don't be afraid of this thing, or don't try to punish them with this, or have it be even a mentality of like, they're doing this against you. And I've seen you flip the script on so many families once you help them with that.
It's because I think when you assume, when it feels so personal, and it is personal, right? It's your child, it's your flesh and blood. Like, it is deeply personal. But I think that when you operate from an idea of everything is a learned skill, and maybe some people haven't had enough learning opportunities, then you can start advocating like, yo, this is actually a skill deficit. Like, kid isn't like just yelling at you to be a fucking asshole. This kid is like, doesn't know what to do. And is like, please see me in this. Please help me in this. And they don't know what to do, and they can't articulate that.
You're a good human being, Kels.
Oh, it's hard work to do this stuff. It's a lot of mental work, and it's no wonder my body has just taken it in. And so this is where, like, I think my advice for anybody who's doing the type of work that Nikita and I do, I think like having a community can be a really healing part of this. Like, having people you can talk to, having good supervisors, having good mentors, even if it's not somebody within your organization. Like, if it's a friend that is also a therapist, that I think can be very healing, because if you don't process it and you don't address it, it's going to hurt you.
that's a lot that we sit with in that way, and it's so ingrained in kind of who we are and naturally part of how we operate as human beings, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have an impact, or that especially some days it just weighs more.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I would love to see like a research study on like amount of social events therapists attend versus any other career.
I mean, I say this to Yuri, my husband, all the time, of like, there are days like if I get out of a session and like afterwards, like I'm just like non-communicative.
Yeah, I need nonverbal time. That's what Tom and I call it. We need nonverbal time.
It's like I'll feel because I'll go all day not saying, and then I just don't have.
Yeah.
Or like I'll get out of a session and then I'll just realize like 20 minutes went by and I was just like,
oh my god, I did
off.
that Thursday night. I got done with social group and I just like sat on my phone and I like looked at the clock. I'd been sitting at my desk for like 30 minutes after.
These are the moments where we're like, yeah, I guess it does have an impact. Crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's like really hard. It's really hard.
We wouldn't change it for anything, and we're figuring out how to do it better as we go.
Yeah, so if you want to like, I don't know, be better and like learn stuff, you could always like, we could supervise you.
Oh yeah.
Well, just like little casual, like mentor you, make your life better, make you a better clinician.
It's like half the reason I started Full Living Wellness.
Yes, you can create little baby therapists running around doing good work.
Yeah.
That's what I care about too. I said this to somebody else the other day. I was like, I just want to create like a generation of BCBAs that like actually treats a marginalized community like as people.
Exactly.
And not like these little fucking like things you throw goldfish at and tokens at.
If that isn't like such a hallmark of community in that way too, like it's not about just being with one another when it's easy.
Yes, it's about being with each other when shit gets rough.
Yeah.
We just learned that in our friendship. How do we be there for each other when it is rough, and like, and if we can't be there for each other in the way that we needed, like how do we reconnect?
Yes. I'm so mad that we didn't bring that up until right now, because that's
I
such
know.
a good like thing for everybody to, because I feel like I talk about this all the time, but then we actually got to do it, of having an actual sit down and talking about how our relationship had changed because of not having jujitsu. Like Kelsey and I had, obviously it's been like a month since we had recorded at least the podcast.
It has to be longer.
Maybe even longer than that.
What, 2 months?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be longer.
And we just felt very disconnected and needed time to figure out what is this next stage, because we went from a lifestyle with jiu-jitsu where we were seeing one another anywhere from like at least 1 to 3 times a week
to nothing.
Like we would just walk in the building and be like, oh hey Kels, like what's going on? Like that was, and then we would also plan dinners together and have, so it was multiple times a week, was just for years that was part of our
it's how we had always known each other. And then I think like Nikita had made this point to me, and it's just about like what I was saying about skill deficits. Like, this is the first time we're doing life and friendship with each other, and we've only known it in one way. And now that we have to shift it, like there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be disconnects, and there's going to be like feelings of hurt and anger and frustration and whatever it may be.
And we were both in denial about, we were in our own process of how life had changed, and we didn't really like how it had changed.
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, it took some time, and we wanted to be able to just have our time together to figure out what that is and where each of us were at before we.
Yeah, and I think that goes to the point in the previous episode as well of like naming it. Like, you need to name these things. Like, if it feels weird and it feels off, and like I understand that, people that had were upbringings that didn't really allow for those types of conversations to go well, or you've had past issues with conflict, but I think that conflict to me is like a vehicle of change.
Yes.
And that's something Nikita's taught me, is that like conflict doesn't mean the end of something. It just means that like it's change, it's momentum, it's action. And
it's so bonding too. Like the idea that we can sit down and go like, I'm really struggling and I feel distant from you, but I want to figure that out and why that's happening.
Yeah.
And then to have the conversation and to work through it together, and then to better understand one another and know
Yeah.
that we can go through those times together is
Yeah, and that we can also like ask for more at times. And I think for me and my journey has been like this. I've been just dealing with difficulty with acceptance, right? So with the acceptance means like I haven't wanted to communicate what I need. I don't want to need what I need
exactly.
right
I
now.
have to accept that I need it to tell you that I need it.
Yeah. You know, and it's so layered in that. So yeah, I mean, I think that the more you spend time with somebody and like you grow in friendship over years and years, it's really easy to feel disconnected and like let that feel like this isn't working or like something's wrong here. And I think that it's like, it's interesting. I see people talk about like their instincts and like feelings of wrongness, and like it's like, oh, you should walk away from that thing, or you know, with the feeling of wrongness. But I think like for me, the feeling of wrongness between us was like just disconnect.
Yeah.
It was just like missing each other.
Yeah. And we've had our lives so intertwined.
Yeah.
So to feel disconnect was
It was weird.
Oh, it's super scary.
Yeah, it was weird. And it's just, you know, and then when everything in your life doesn't feel aligned, then you're just you're like mad at God.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's why it took us so much time, because we had to accept that
Yes.
the life that we had, like the chapter and the version of things, even though we're moving into a new one and that will come with its own great things, guess what? We really fucking liked the last one. And there were also some people in it that we really liked who also aren't here anymore. And the idea of having to accept moving on, I think you and I spent a good 6 months being like, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
And that's the thing. I don't think that if we had the conversation sooner, I don't think it would have been what I needed.
No.
Because I wasn't at the stage yet where I was ready to like come to the table with it, because I was just like having a hard time.
And no coincidence that the weekend you and I did, the weekend just before, I had like a huge breakdown moment where I just was like, I have to accept that the version of life that I knew it and how I want it, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, and it happened
literally a weekend before, and then you and I had our sit down, and I was like,
and I had a
so much
huge
sense.
breakdown, and that's what like precipitated all of this conversation was
we
because
weren't ready before then.
No, we weren't ready.
And so that's a good I really like that you brought it around. That's a good reminder of relationships can have ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever feel good to have there be distance, but it doesn't mean that either one of you is doing something wrong. But if you notice the distance, talk about it.
You gotta label it.
Yeah.
Don't let it eat you alive. Like,
say it. I miss you. I'm angry. I feel like I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
I'm not getting what I need. Like, I'm struggling with that. Just say the things.
Yes, be saying the things. And damn, we be saying the things because we just talked for fucking 60 minutes
We be
straight.
saying the things so much that our mouths be fucking dry. And by the
Is your mouth dry?
My mouth is literally dry from it.
I was
Also,
like, she's probably really thirsty.
for cute imagery,
Yeah.
I just realized we also had that conversation while laying in my king size
Oh my
bed.
God. Nikita has the best setup. Like, I don't think y'all understand how great her setup is in her room.
With the little fireplace. And
She
the
made me like a
projector.
little charcuterie board, and
I
like,
forgot about
and like Hopi was laying there, and she was being so good. She was like looking at the charcuterie and was like, "Please let me have some," but
Please
like
stop
she
abusing
never, but she like never did anything.
Never.
Meanwhile,
She's a
Dennis would have
perfect princess.
cleared that thing would have been flying up, hitting the ceiling. Yeah. Oh, did I tell you what he did yesterday about how he fucking ran over jumped the fence?
Stop it.
That motherfucker's so stupid. The ice right now on top of the snow means that the dogs can walk on top of the snow.
Yeah.
Sometimes they fall in, but they can walk on top of it. So I let him out to go pee, and he runs, and he does his little cartoon skedaddling where like his legs move but his body doesn't move, and he goes and he slides. And he slides almost into the fence next to the shed, and so rather than hitting the fence, he pops up, jumps over the fence, and I shit you not, Tom, you would have died laughing. He literally like spun in a circle and like did this because he was like, oh, like he was panicking that he made that
Full
decision.
panic. Somebody write
And
a
I'm
crisis
like
plan.
beeping the e-collar, like looking for my shoes because I don't have any shoes I can quickly put on because there's fucking 8 inches of snow out there. And then by the time I find my shoes, I'm about to go out, he fucking jumped the fence, came right back. Never peed. So then I had to let him out again after that.
That is so Dennis coded, all of that. With his big old feet.
He is a bonehead. He is the biggest
His
bonehead.
triangle chest.
Oh my gosh, I love that boy. Yeah, I mean that was a lot. That was really a lot. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know how I got there, but we did just talk for 60 minutes. So we're gonna stop.
Very good.
Adios.
Love you, bye.
Bye.